Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe for more. Essay structure explanation. Claims as elements of reasoning. Effective thinking skills can be elusive. Reasoning has a structure and content that can be hard to control as an author, and hard to discern as a reader, when it is expressed in normal English, so-called natural language. We tend to assume that claims are indistinguishable from their particular forms of expression, and it may be hard to grasp just what claims do within reasoning unless we shake them loose from their normal modes of expression. Claims may be expressed in natural language. However, claims are better understood as elements of reasoning, the basic units of analysis in our arguments and explanations. Written and spoken English does make claims but draws them together and expresses them in ways that are stylish but which also make it harder to identify and understand individual claims. In particular, sentences which assist in making English easy to write and read can obscure the more analytical function of the statements that these sentences express. Look, for example, at the following. Many Australians favour making the nation a republic. However, it is unclear just how many Australians there are in favour of this, and until we know and are sure that a very large majority of Australians want a republic, we should not move too quickly to implement this change. How do we identify the claims? In the first sentence, there is just one claim. In the second sentence, though, there are two claims. The first is, it is unclear just how many Australians there are in favour of this. Note the use of this to mean making the nation a republic. The second is, until we know and are sure that a very large majority of Australians want a republic, we should not move too quickly to implement this change. Note how tricky the process of identifying claims can be. In the second sentence, the first and indicates a break between two claims, but the word and is later used differently to combine know and are sure. Similarly, the comma after, however, in the second sentence indicates that a claim is starting, but later on, a comma proves to be part of a claim. Note too, the use of pronouns such as this and it, which are used as substitutes for the actual nouns that claims contain. As another example of this distinction between language for expression and language for analysis, claims are sometimes expressed as questions. They appear as that special form of expression known as rhetorical questions, in which the answer to the question is presumed. For example, isn't it obvious that Australia should be a republic? Is clearly different from, do you think that Australia should be a republic? Single quote. The first question, a rhetorical question, is simply a clever way of saying Australia should be a republic, whereas the second question genuinely seeks an answer. Hence, to understand fully how claims are used in reasoning, we need to be aware of the difference between making claims as part of writing or talking, and making claims as part of the process of reasoning. Often, the claims we make in each context will be similar, but we cannot rely on it. Natural language, when properly put together in a narrative sequence, is an excellent tool for expressing our arguments and explanations. A danger, however, is that the requirement for proper, readable expression can confuse and mislead the unwary about the analytical units claims, and structures connections between claims, which actually constitute the reasoning. Exercise 2.2. Identify the claims in the following sentences. Then write 3 sentences of your own, each of which expresses a number of claims in various different ways. A. All that glitters is gold, and this nugget glitters. B. Isn't it obvious that this song is called Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend? C. Silver jewelry is very common because silver is a cheap metal and it is easily worked. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe for more.